There it goes.
Has it started?
Yep.
So, I think the DJ's name is Fade or Fayed? Fayed.
Might be Fade.
Fade. F-A-E-D. So we went to the Jewel nightclub. We'll get to Zumanity, but I want to talk about what we just witnessed. So I get into this nightclub, and it's ridiculously expensive.
It took a while to get into the nightclub.
We'll get there. We get into this nightclub, and I paid $30 for myself and $20 for my lovely lady here, American. So in Canadian, it's like $800. And we had the pleasure of being allowed to stand in a corner, and then they kind of shoot us out of our corner because we were too close to a table of people who'd reserved a table. And I looked at that last night, and reserving a table is ridiculously expensive. So stupid, no. So it's the Jewel nightclub downstairs. And I thought, you know what, it'll be fine. Part of the reason I got a shirt and tie and dress pants is because I'm like, you know what, it'd be nice if we could go to a clubber last night in Vegas and dance. I like going to a nightclub to dance. And I'm going to use an old man phrase here. Back in my day, you had room to dance. I've seen this at clubs in Chilliwack. The last time I went to a club in Chilliwack, there was a tiny little dance floor about the size of that space between the bed and the wall. It was just crap. And somebody said, hey, I'm going out on the dance floor. And I'm like, that's not a floor. To me, a dance floor is a wide open space where people can dance. And the biggest concern you have is that when you get dancing, your elbow's going to fly up and hit somebody. So you have to kind of look around. You have to be aware of your surroundings, which is why staying sober is important, too. At least somewhat, so you don't start elbowing people. In my case, if I got too drunk, I ended up dancing with the door, usually, because my ex would get all upset. See, and the way you could tell was that when I would leave the dance floor, I'd go, hey, we got to walk around the railing and up onto that step. Why don't I just grab the bottom bar and just swing under the railing, and I'll just crawl up onto the step. And so I start doing that, and as soon as I started swinging myself under the railing and just like slithering onto that carpet, that was when people knew, oh, Shannon's going. And then I'd start like dancing to everything and singing along to everything really loud and badly. I'm a happy drunk. I enjoy it. It's fun. But that whatever that was down there, I don't understand it, because you had the pressurized air that was cold, and it just blasts people randomly.
But if you were out on the floor where they only had, they're all dancing.
Yeah, they're all like this.
So they can only dance, like that.
Everybody's like this now, woo! And then you got these girls with white lights in the corner.
So they could have been very hot, because there was a lot of people squished.
Is that why their staff don't wear clothes?
Sorry.
Because it's too hot? I am not kidding you. And those girls are like 19. So right there, me being older than 19.
Well, being in the States, they're probably 21.
Okay, so we'll say they're 21. They're not much older than that.
No.
So right away, I'm like, okay, so these girls are walking around in their underwear and garters and a crop top, and they're the waitresses. And all I could think was, holy crap. And we've talked about some of the places we've gone and seen girls dressed kind of like, the mini skirts and whatnot. That had nothing on this. Nothing. And I can't imagine how many drunk guys accidentally brush into them as they walk by, because that's probably a thing. But all I could think was, holy crap, my daughter's older than they are. We gotta get out of here. Because that's just... I know. Just know. And, the other thing that drives me nuts with DJs, and I get it, they're mixing songs, but you can only hear 1 minute of each song. And then they move on to the next. And I DJ'd, I didn't do the nightclub DJing, but I DJ'd at a dance club or two. And I would play entire songs. I would try to fade songs into each other, and I would try to make sure the song that was coming up next fit in so that if people were out on the dance floor, they wouldn't just bugger off, unless I didn't really like where I was playing or I didn't like the music I was playing, and I didn't really care. So I just mixed something else, and I'd be like, what are you doing? I don't care. I don't like this song. I don't really care. Or if nobody's on the dance floor, then I go, well, nobody's out here anyways, and then I could just program whatever I want. but I never got the whole mixing like they do, so I was never one of those DJs. I was a guy that you'd hire if you wanted to hear, I don't know, entire songs and the original song and just music. And if you wanted to hear yourself think, I was a good DJ too, so I would make sure that the sound wasn't so loud that people out on the dance floor couldn't hear themselves think. Because my ears are ringing.
Oh,
we were there for half
hurt,
an hour, and my
ears.
ears are ringing.
That hurt.
The reason we're up here is because I knew she was not comfortable, and I'm like, I cannot keep Yvonne here. Thankfully, I have BCID. So where we come from, Canada, you have driver's license and you have BCID. The only difference between my BCID and her driver's license is that hers says she can drive, and mine says it's a picture ID. They are virtually identical. I can't show them, obviously.
Totally identical.
I'm not stupid enough to show my actual ID.
Mine says driver's license, and his says, what's it?
BC identification.
BC, yeah.
And that's it. Everything else is identical, and they wouldn't accept it, so I had to come upstairs and get my passport. Do I look 21? I mean, I'm flattered if somebody wants to say I'm 21 or younger. I am really, really flattered, and I assume either they want money or sex. Those are the only two things I can think of. Or now that I have a big YouTube channel, maybe they want a shout out on my channel. But seriously, that's why I've always thought, I'd love to have like a place that I can rent and have like a dance night where I can just rent DJ equipment and I can play music and just have like room for people, and it's not like an $80 cover, and I could just have a nice evening worth like it's a party. And that would have been great when I hit 100,000 for the hockey guy and all that. I think the logistics are a little more difficult than that, however.
I'm sure.
But seriously, tonight that reminds me of why, geez, I miss being a DJ. I miss being at dance clubs where you can dance. You have room. Like, I get it that it's kind of a concert because it's the DJ, right? But he's just playing music. And he's playing, and so you kind of want to dance.
Comparing it to a concert is kind of like the floor area of a concert.
Yeah, so you mosh.
I did that once to the first Tool concert I went to. I guess
I could start in a mosh pit.
So it's one of those first come, first serve. And I've never done it again because you're just so squished in there. And being a short girl, I'm 5'2", and on the floor there's a lot of tall guys. When they're doing this, you get pushed
and you
down.
have combat boots.
And so
the boys are usually wearing combat boots.
So I was just getting squished, and for that they had to pull me out. And that's what this reminded me of. They had about the same
But the difference is, if you're at a concert, you can be seated.
Loud.
You don't have to be in the general admission.
Yes.
At this club downstairs, you're either in the general admission or you're pushed away. Yeah. Because all of the tables, all of the tables are empty because they have to be reserved. But it just makes it weird. Because any other place, it's just I can understand some tables being reserved, but people should be able to sit down at tables.
They should have even.
They should just have booths.
Cocktail tables.
Like
That's what a lot of bars do.
And
bars that I've been to, so ones that I've gone to that have the dance floor, they usually have the booths, kind of like they have downstairs, where they have like the circle booths where you can get with your big group, but then they'll have like cocktail tables.
Like I know they have the upstairs. The upstairs might have had like a standing area, but I didn't see very much going on. And not only that, but
up there.
I didn't see how that would make it any more enjoyable.
I thought that would be, you probably had to pay even more to be up there. That was so loud. Like, we go to concerts a lot, so we're used to loud, but this was so
My
loud.
ears were not ringing coming out of Rob Zombie.
I could feel my hair buzzing.
Yeah, it was.
And
the strobe lights, the strobe lights, and then the flashes, and the. Now, keep in mind, we did this right after watching Zumanity, so we're going to go ahead and transition from whatever that was downstairs. I will never go to a nightclub again. I'm done.
Sensory overload. That's what
I'm done. If that's all that a nightclub is now, it is morphed into something that I don't find it, and it's not the music. She can tell you I know music that she had no idea that I knew.
Yeah, he
when we were drinking,
to things that
when we had a couple of drinks last night at the New York, I was singing along to songs that she's like,
how do you know?
Yeah.
But Shannon listens to a lot more music, like a variety of music than I do. I don't listen to
I know some hip hop and rap.
I don't, because I think it's crap. I listen to metal.
I know you do.
Go shorty,
it's your birthday.
No. I listen to some rock and...
Gonna sip Bacardi like it's your birthday.
I don't even know a lot of the really popular songs that are on all the radio.
You know, we don't
Shannon
give up.
Thinks
it's
this
not your
kind
birthday.
of funny. What? You've never heard this? No, I haven't. Why would I listen to this crap?
So songs would come on, and then I'd start singing along. And I had more fun last night at the Circle Bar at New York than we just did downstairs.
Yeah.
Because we were able to sit down.
Yeah.
And I was able to dance a little bit with you and joke around with you, and we could hear each other talk.
Yes. That was too much. Okay.
And downstairs at Jewel, we couldn't do that.
No.
Now, we did go to New York tonight. We went around the Circle Bar. We went into Zumanity. And we watched Zumanity. And I didn't need a passport to do it. See, and we laugh, but I have needed to show my ID numerous places in Las Vegas. Not once has anybody said, we don't accept that. You're going to have to go to your hotel and get your passport. I don't like carrying my passport.
I was surprised that he even knew the difference between a driver's license
and I don't like carrying my passport.
The same.
I can handle if we're out in public and my wallet, somebody gets my picture ID. That would suck. But my passport, holy crap, that would be horrible.
We can't get home. We can't get on our plane.
Right. So as soon as he's like, you got to get your passport, I'm thinking, are you flipping kidding me? So I didn't need it for Zumanity, which is also an 18-plus show, and we found out why right at the start.
Yeah, we had no idea. We did not know.
I thought it was going to just be suggestive, which...
Yep, it was definitely suggestive.
It was suggestive, and it
was very suggestive.
Zumanity was a lot of fun. So we saw Kyle last night, which was very over the top, very well put together and orchestrated. And Zumanity was just fun. And I have never seen a woman walking around the stage topless that funny and unsexy at the same time as tonight. That was one of the funniest bits I've ever... That was so funny with the Scotch bags.
Oh,
bags of Scotch.
Yes.
So it was just really funny, and a lot of audience participation.
Yeah. Which
I thought was quite funny as well. We didn't get talked too much. I got a strawberry though. She got a strawberry too.
Yeah,
so there were and right away what caught us was, so you have, before the show starts, much like Ka, you have a warm up. So they come out to warm up the crowd.
They have pre-show.
And they had these two ladies who are sisters. They're bigger ladies, but they came around. They were very entertaining.
They're funny.
She offered up a strawberry. Thankfully, I wasn't one of the guys that she was getting very, very close with.
In her face.
That was so funny. That was absolutely funny.
Yes, it was very funny.
And then when both sisters were on each side of the same guy, and they just
and squish him.
And then the guy asked for it again. Guy's like, yeah, do it again. Like he was just on cloud nine. But what Zumanity does is it did really well, I thought, with not catering to, okay, this is the perfect body.
Right.
This is what beauty is.
Right.
Which in Las Vegas, and definitely when you look at that nightclub that we were just in downstairs, you know, you've got, it's all about looks. Mm-hmm. Whether it was the girls, whether it was the guys, everybody in that bar, it's about, I look good, they look good, everybody's hot, and the waitresses got to be hot, everybody has to be hot. Coming out of Zumanity, where there were people of all colors and sizes and heights, and it doesn't matter.
There were some, I was going to say girls, but there were guys too. Lots of tattoos.
The drag queen that came out that didn't sing, we never saw him come back.
I was actually looking for him
because he was at the
he was one of the
he was at the piano, and I thought he was going to do. I thought, okay, the show will start with him. Now again, I don't know. There might be a gender identity where it's her, him. I'm saying
you
him.
You just say them.
Right,
if you don't know, you say them.
So in this person's case, they never came back out. I have no idea what was going to happen.
I actually looked. I was trying to look at the people, and Okay, is
the host
there somewhere?
the hostess is absolutely fantastic for this. Edie?
I think so.
Edie?
Something like that.
Reminded me of Dame Edna. It was like a really crude version of Dame Edna. It's like if Dame Edna was younger and a little bit more crude, this is exactly how.
She was really funny.
Oh my god, absolutely hilarious.
She was very funny.
Absolutely hilarious. And then it didn't even hint at the fact that I'm male until the very end.
The very end, yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you ever thought about having a three-way? Yeah, you like me? And then he doesn't know. He has no idea. Surprise! It's a surprise. And it was just, it's irreverent. It's there's still the acrobatic stuff that's terrifying.
Oh my gosh,
that one guy with the mohawk. Holy crap!
I think this one scared me more than Ka, because
we're right up close.
Yes,
and we're right up close. There's no harnesses.
There was no harness at all for any of it.
There were no
right over the audience.
There was no trampolines either.
No.
The one last night, you could see there was a layer of trampolines underneath. This one, there's nothing.
Because they were going right over the crowd.
And when that couple, the girl with the wig, the pink wig, and the guy, and they kept flipping over each other, and he'd catch her, and he had her by 1 foot, and holy crap. And then
the guy with the mohawk, though. Oh my gosh, that was insane.
A man should
over the people.
Men are not designed to be able to move like that, and yet he did, and he's fantastic.
That was frightening.
Absolutely fantastic. And they did some cabaret type stuff. You had the two girls in the oversized champagne glass.
Bowl of water.
It was like an oversized champagne glass type thing.
Yeah, that was really.
And they went back, and then there were some really cool things they did that I don't know that we can really appreciate as an audience because they do it so fast. Where when they were going over top of each other.
Yes, I know. I was.
They were kind of contorting their way over top of each other, and if you are just off, it's a crash.
Yeah, kick each other in the face.
And that was where they had spotters.
Well, they had the spotters every time they went on the edge of the bowl and were like doing weird.
Yep, and they were fantastic.
Weird acrobatics.
But again,
and balance
you could tell that people were hired for this show based on their talent.
Yes.
The singers,
very much so.
The singers were great.
And the band, that was so fun.
The band was really good.
The music was all done by a band there, and they were up on a stage that was really, really high up that would sometimes come down, but sometimes there would be like a musical solo, and so they would come down the stairs or beyond the back of the stage, or there was that point where the violinist actually walked right in front.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it was really well done, and it's a more intimate show than what you get with the other shows we've watched.
Theater.
And I thought that made it just a completely different experience. We were, I would say, middle of the road when it comes to our age. There were a lot of people there older than us, a lot of people there our age. There were a lot of couples in the crowd.
A lot of couples.
I think the dancers were probably 70% girls, 30% guys is what I want to say.
A lot more women.
But, the guys were pretty ripped in general.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But most of the men that were there did crazy acrobatics.
Very strong.
Because there were 3 different guys that did things hanging from things and holding women
by their
in the
foot.
air. Yeah. So they had to be ridiculously strong.
Yeah, it was a very different show altogether. It was I'm really glad we watched it. That was a lot of fun. I don't put it in the same rewatchability category as Ka.
No.
Because with Ka there's so much going on and it's so
Yes. This did too, and there were points where it was hard to figure out where you should look.
Yeah.
Because, there's somebody over here. There would be like the main gymnasts, acrobats. But then there would be somebody over here doing something else where you could always have something you were looking at. And so I can see why you would want to watch it again. And it being a lot of audience participation, each show would be different. And I'm going to guess that Edie, or the host, she can't always say the same thing. I really don't think. I think She reads the crowd and kind of goes with that.
Yeah, she was.
I'm really thinking
this was one show where it's kind of too bad that they didn't have some of the cast out in the foyer after, because she would have been hilarious to talk to.
Oh yeah.
She honestly, if there's anybody I've seen in Vegas who really should have their own show, like the two hosts for Fantasy, both of them could have their own TV show and they'd be great at it. But Edie, absolutely, if you gave that person a talk show, some kind of a, I'm trying to think of, not like the Tonight Show, something far more like a variety hour, almost like a Carol Burnett kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But you could have a guest on it too. You gave Edie that kind of thing. I think they'd absolutely thrive.
Absolutely.
Like that would be absolutely perfect. Then they're in their element. Because again, it reminded me somewhat of Dame Edna. Dame Edna is really funny. The biggest thing when you've got a man who's dressed as a woman is you can tell when they're good when you forget. Mm-hmm. When you forget that you're watching a man who's dressed as and talking like a woman. And with Dame Edna, you would forget. Mm-hmm. And there were points in time tonight where I thought, okay, oh right, yeah. And I would kind of get taken out of that moment. But yeah, great show. The acrobatics are fantastic. It's not for kids because it's definitely 18 plus.
Kids aren't.
They're not allowed. That's why we had to show ID, which they took.
It is topless.
Yes.
Which we didn't know that beforehand.
I knew it was 18 plus, but yes. I just thought it was for the subject matter.
Right. We thought it would be suggestive.
Yeah.
It is topless. You do see a lot of boobs. But, okay, so having seen Fantasy 2 days before, this is a completely different topless thing.
Yes.
Than Fantasy. So Fantasy, it was more focused on their bodies and just, they would start out with a top on and then it'd be part of their dance to take it off. In this one, they were just topless. There wasn't a focus on, hey, look at their boobs. No. It was more just, here's these people and they're dancing.
Very, very cabaret.
These
very burlesque.
Different things. So it, to me, wasn't as uncomfortable as Fantasy was.
No, and like I said, it was an older crowd.
Fantasy.
And it was an older crowd with that tonight.
This one, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. There were plenty of people there older than us.
And the guys didn't exactly have very much clothes on either.
No, and they were
really, really didn't.
They were given jocks or some kind of a cod piece.
Because I think they all had to have protection so they wouldn't get injured. Just from all the acrobatics.
Guess. Again, it shows that, if men are worried about hurting anything, they don't start with their head.
Oh no, never.
That's not the first thing you protect.
No.
Going back to, and I say that as a hockey fan, the last thing guys worry about is protecting their face and their head. Privates, that's first. Okay, we got to make sure that's even though a grievous head wound probably going to make you bleed out faster. But men, right? But yeah, Zumanity, I honestly, again, if you're not shy, if it's not a big deal to see people half undressed and all this stuff, and just the fact that the topic was sex for the whole night, and honestly, it was done in a non-sleazy, healthy manner, and again, it was very body positive.
Yes.
There were, and I'm not going to single them out. I was thinking about it, but I'm not going to single them out. There were girls who were out there tonight that if they tried out for Fantasy would be told you're good dancers, but you're not what we're looking for.
Yes.
And they would make this show because they're really good dancers. I don't get the feeling that looks matter as much.
No, because there's even amongst the girls that were doing the dancing and really good dancers, very, very skilled women. They didn't all have the same body type at all. No. You had a variety. There was the African woman who, fantastic dancer. She was so fun.
Yes,
I really liked her.
She was very well.
She danced excellent. African.
Yes.
She did that
the
African,
feathers,
like the tribal type dancing. I don't know what you even call it. Yeah. She had, earlier in the show, she had beads on, and that was really fun. And she has a shorter afro, but, and so an African
there were a lot of wigs, too.
Woman.
Yes. There were a lot of wigs.
Yes, a lot of wigs. But then you had an Asian woman.
There were a couple. There
was. Yes, wasn't one of the girls in the water.
Yes.
Was Asian as well.
Yes.
There was the girl covered in tattoos.
The one looks like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was an excellent dancer.
Yeah, she was. But very different body types, which I thought was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
So not all the same. Not all the same curvy.
Nope.
There were really, really skinny girls, ones that were more curvy. There were, of course, girls that were super muscular.
Oh, my God.
Like that girl that did the dance.
The couple?
Yeah.
The one that with the couple, and she was actually holding him up.
Many times, yeah.
And then he was holding her up with only one hand on the ground at that one point. I don't know. Yeah. And of course, we're watching all this, and I kept saying to Yvonne, are we going to try that later? We should give that a shot. And it's just stuff that just, no.
Feats of strength.
I don't need to explain that to an ambulance driver. What happened here? We saw Zumanity. And so we got this rigging up, and it just doesn't work. And that's why my foot's behind my head. That's how that happened.
Yeah.
It's a funny story, though, about how the hole in the ceiling got there. Anyways. But yeah, so again, if you want to watch just a fun show where there's a lot of foul language, but it's funny.
Yep.
Oh, it is so funny. And
it was funny.
I can't remember the name of the blonde with the crazy hair, but she was hilarious.
The big
80s hair. Big 80s hair. She was hilarious, and she swore like a trooper, but that was the character she had in the show.
Yes.
And it was great. It was great. So there you go. Highly recommend. She would recommend that ahead of Fantasy.
Oh, yes.
If you're coming to Vegas, she would prefer this over Fantasy. Ka would win over this. Yeah. But again, I'm glad we went and saw this. This was kind of a fun trip. And I thought it would be fun to do something a little different than what we did last time. So next time we come, we'll definitely go see other Cirque shows. The Michael Jackson one would be fun. Oh, it would be fun. That's the one that's all water, I think. Where it's based in the ocean. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff to do. And you never run out of things to do in this city.
No. Even
stand around in a nightclub and look at girls in underwear and go, I got to get out of here because I'm way too old to be down here. I'm really glad I brought my passport down and paid $50 for this. This is a learning experience. It's not a learning experience. It's not. I need to start my own nightclub. And the girls would have to wear clothes. I'd be like, okay, you're going to be a waitress.
The dress code for the nightclub is really odd.
The dress code for the nightclub, I think it depends who you are. I think because they don't know who I am, you have to have your collared shirt, you have to dress nice. But I think for the regulars, it's just if you're wearing a t-shirt and shorts, you can get in there. Because the guys have a dress code, and I don't think the women do.
There's not a dress code for women. So we saw
you're
several
a woman, get
girls
in here.
In jean cutoffs, jeans with big old holes in them. The guys can't wear shorts, can't wear jeans, no sandals.
You can wear jeans. They gotta be good jeans though, and you can't wear any kind of if I'd gone down into Jersey, they would have said get out.
And it said you have to have a shirt with a collar.
Yeah.
Yet I saw several guys down there wearing t-shirts
and tanks.
So
I saw tanks.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of guys wearing polos, but I definitely saw guys wearing t-shirts.
Yeah, it was strange.
So I'm not sure how this dress
bizarre.
Code works.
It was bizarre. But again, I think it's that they probably, you're a regular, get in here. Or they went in wearing the collared shirt and then took it off when they got in there to dance around with the girls here's my dance. I can't dance that much now so I'll just kind of just vibrate in one spot.
It was packed when we were in there, and as we were going out, there's still a ton of
there's just so many people coming in. It's like it's a reverse clown car. It's like how many people are you going to fit in this club? It was already getting hot and uncomfortable, and smoky and kind of gross. And I'm like, this isn't fun. I need to find a place that's fun to go. I'm not going to a country bar. I'd rather stab myself in the face with a pen. I'm not going to a country bar. But I think that's the only place now where you can find a dance floor where you can actually move. I don't know. I've just been through too many bad experiences.
No, see, and just a couple weeks ago, I had my class reunion. We went to a bar with a dance floor.
What kind of bar was it, though?
Just a bar with a dance floor.
Was it a pub?
No.
Was it a nightclub?
No.
So there weren't like lasers and stuff like that?
There were.
There were lasers?
Yeah. And lights and stuff, but there were lots of tables. You could go out and dance if you wanted. You could not. They played whole songs. They found out there was a bunch of us that were born in the early 80s, so they played songs that we know.
I don't get it. I need to open my own nightclub.
So they definitely still make them like that.
Call it THG Beats. Yeah, THG Beats. Yo, what up? Yo, word. What up, word to your mother? Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. What up, word?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No, don't.
You know what I'm saying?
No, don't start that.
Why are you taking an home census?
No, let's not.
Know what I'm saying?
No, let's not do that.
J to the ROC, know what I'm saying? Anyways.
I don't know what you're saying.
Why doesn't anybody know what I'm saying?
No.
That's why I say know what I'm
Anyways.
saying. I need a nightclub. I've got to find something that you can dance in, that your ears don't bleed, and you can sit down and maybe have a drink for less than $20. I didn't even look at the drinks there because I'm guessing that based on the clientele and based on the waitresses and all of the things in that club, I'm guessing drinks were expensive as hell. That's just my guess. They're like, hey, you paid $50 to get in, here's a beer for $10. That's just my guess. I wasn't going near it. All right, there you go. 2 reviews for the price of 1. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And again, I'm kind of in search of a place that I can go and dance and just enjoy myself once in a while. Not all the time, but once in a while. And if it was a place where I could bring my whiteboards and do reviews of hockey games as well, so get the whole place to shut up while I'm filming my reviews, that would be perfect. That'd be great.
That's ridiculous.
That'd be perfect. Got to set that up. Got to make it happen. Got to make it happen. All right? Thank you guys so much for all your support. We're home tomorrow, and I'll talk to you again soon.